what did you say that pissed people off this weekend?
Let me go back and look at my Twitter account here. Oh, I know what it was. I go, Trey doesn't play for me, and now after getting kicked out, he doesn't play for you either.
All I got was, Dukes, what's wrong with Bell? I'm like, what? I don't know. I'm out here trying to score a 68. What are you guys talking about?
You can text me directly. You can talk to the white guy. I mean, I'll answer your questions.
Well,
but
people always want to bring me into it. You know, listen, we are a show. Right. We do well. I love my partner, but at the end of the day, we do have independent thoughts. Okay, I don't
connected like by some kind of telekinetic mind meld.
I don't think everything Mike thinks, and Mike doesn't think everything I think. So I get it when you guys come at me, Dukes, man, what's up with Bell? Like, I don't know, but you said that, and people took offense to it.
I said not talking about Trey Young, and I actually used the Trey Young because, again, unlike some people in the media, if I'm going to say something about someone, I will put it in their neck of the woods so they know it directly and not being misquoted. So I went at the Trey Young, lest there be any confusion, because there was last time you went at me and called me a hoe and said, shut up, hoe, I don't play for you, because he's very mature and classy like that. But anyway, this was after we said he showed no leadership the week that the coach got fired and no leadership the week that the coach got hired, as far as being there, answering questions the way other guys did. Either way, I said, not talking about Trey Young, he doesn't play for me, and after the boneheaded technical, not for you either tonight, because it was a boneheaded technical. And much like his counterpart, Luka Doncic, who's about to sit for a game, these add up. And Trey was on the cusp of 16. 16 gets you an automatic one-game suspension. And we're trying to lock into some semblance of a play-in game. So you got to table that for a minute. And by the way, I'm the biggest supporter of players crapping on the refs because the NBA officials are garbage. We know that. But you've got to maintain some degree of maturity and common sense. And you wing the ball at the ref, and now you get the gate, and they got to hang on to win that game.
And they did. And John Collins stepped up, and a lot of guys did what they should have done, which is they go above and beyond. You win without Trey on the floor, which, by the way, begs the question. Sometimes this year, we've seen it. Without him on the floor, the team has looked more fluid. It's just facts.
Well, him and DeJounte, whenever they're on the floor, it doesn't work. It hasn't worked, and maybe, what do you need, another year to see if it's going to work? I mean, how long does that need to jibe?
I think it's been what it's been all season.
And DeJounte, by the way, we were giving DeJounte all the credit in the world for being aggressive and saying the right things and showing leadership and playing defense. And I'm going to be honest. DeJounte's not exactly the great defender I thought he was, or at least he's not putting the effort in. And whether that's a byproduct of looking at the other superstar and says he does it selectively, so why am I breaking my balls? I don't know. And by the way, just one more note on my tweet about Trey.
Yes,
if you think
one that pissed people off.
If you think that winging the ball at the ref when you're hanging out of your fingernails to a play-in spot is smart, there's really not much I can say to you. All right, again, if you think someone calling somebody a hoe on Twitter is, he showed Mike. Again, you're a mental midget. There's nothing, a mental small person, whatever that is now, you got to say proper nomenclature.
Too late.
You're an idiot. Okay, so how about that? I don't care. And I don't care. And by the way, I'm not doing Hawks tickets next year because I'm not interested like I was. It has nothing to do with Trey. It's the team as a whole. This thing is not going like it should. This thing was exciting in the summer, and it's not been exciting all year for me as a fan, if I'm honest, with those 10 games I bought.
Is there anything else you want to get off your chest?
That's about it. And again,
it sounds like a lot of build-up right now.
But when a star player says he doesn't play for me and wants to call me names, well, then I could also, again, my tiny little pittance of $1,500 could go to something else.
All coming out right now.
You brought this up, so I'll take it down this road.
So now it's my fault. I'm your therapist. Tell me how you really feel.
I know when I left from home to go for my first job, my dad came along too, to hang around and pump me up. No, that's right, he didn't. That's right, he didn't do for you either. Because no one does that. Be a man. Grow up. Show some maturity. I'm glad you're playing more defense. Leadership. You started showing some signs of it, and this team just is like a roller coaster, and I think it's a direct reflection of the star player. How's that? Too much?
No, I'm letting you vent because obviously it needed to be done.
Needed to be said.
All right. Hawks win 143-130. That was Saturday against the Pacers. And again, Capella, 17 points, 17 boards. JC stepped up. Big game. Sunday, we lose against the Memphis Grizzlies and Ja. Now, Trey did play well yesterday. Ja had 27 and 6. It wasn't as if Trey didn't play well. But here's the thing, guys, and ultimately this is the thing. We've talked about this, and I don't know if this is his attitude. I would like to believe that it's not. I got mine, but you lose is not winning. That's not winning. So you can tell me that he got 28 and 10, which is a great game. But when you are stacking L's, Mike, and you're consistently doing that, and your team is on the bottom, of the conference when you start talking about play-in tournament, I'm sorry that it doesn't translate to wins, and that's what I always tell people. It's like, well, he's scoring, he's doing all the things. I'm not putting this solely on Trey. The team right now is inefficient. We don't play enough defense. There are a lot of things that we need to fix. But at the end of the day, I can't sit here and tell you I got mine and you're taking L's.
And that's another thing. Look, we can debate what this team is, what it isn't. I mean, it's just a bad team. It's a mediocre team because of the inconsistency. And if you said it, if you look strictly at the stat sheet, you could say, okay, DeAndre Hunter, 17 points, that's not too shabby. You need the big buckets at the end. You need Dukesism, right? You always say nut cutting time.
Yeah.
Who's taking the shot? Who's making things happen? DeJounte Murray wasn't doing particularly well defending. Look, John Morant's one of the best in the business. We get that. John Collins was a non-factor in this game. He did get some boards for you, but John's a guy, you said it, Saturday night, he's the man. And then Sunday, not as much. And then there's the other thing. This is beyond Trey and beyond any beefs I have with this organization, but they did give Bogey this money, and Bogey can't play 2 nights in a row. Can he?
10 points last night, yesterday. It was an early start, so 10 points yesterday.
So
late
it was a
afternoon.
5 o'clock start followed by a 6 o'clock start. But I mean, at this stage, you just gave a guy a big contract that he's 30 years old, and Bogey seems like he can't give you physically 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. I thought they would let him explore the market, but obviously they felt like he's a keeper. So that doesn't mean he won't be traded.
But 2 for 7 from threes, and that's his job.
It's his job. He's got to give you points off the bench. There's no doubt. It's Dukes and Bell at Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Big Bo, he is here with us. He is our engineer, executive producing turtle behind the glass. Let's hit some headlines.
Strap in, youngins.
In the headlines with Dukes and Bell.
Yeah, there'll be some more smoke after that rant, Mike. Hey, let's hear from Quinn Snyder talking about missing those shots, because that's what it came down to at the end of this one. Quinn Snyder talking about missing shots.
If you're open, some guys, Bogey's going to take that shot. Someone else may pull through and drive it. Some guys might do either. But we can't let that mentality dictate how we play. If it's like, if we're on or not, it's just got to be the way we play. And
they missed some open shots. That's the thing. Down to 3, and then some ill-advised shots. And by the way, Memphis kind of kept you in because they were launching some threes.
Yep.
The guy named Bain was on fire for a little bit.
Yeah, Desmond Bain's a baller, man.
You think you can control my 3-point shot? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with a team that's super athletic and big, and they want to intimidate you defensively too, and they kind of did some of that.
As far as Trey, this is what he said about needing to shoot more threes when they're open.
We're all just trying to create for each other. We probably got to shoot a little bit more threes when we're open instead of just waiting for the closeout. But, I mean, we'll get better at that. I think that's something that Coach is new for us. As he emphasizes shooting more threes, and guys just, just haven't really necessarily been told to shoot it every time whenever you get it. So I think that's good for our team, and it's gonna help us in the long run.
The Grizzlies shot 39.4%. But again, I'm trying to give you some new, fresh takes on this Hawks team. But here's one thing that happens every time we lose.
What's that?
They don't hit their threes, and their opponents do. They don't play perimeter defense. And to your point that Trey just made there, Hawks were 7 of 31 from 3. I mean, there's the problem. And I know that we don't like to shoot as much as other teams that analytically just keep launching threes, but we got to make ours, especially when we got those open bucks.
Next up, Cleveland Tuesday night. Then you go to Brooklyn. And then the Mavs are in here. Speaking of struggling, they're literally in the same boat we are. And they made the deal for Kyrie. They're struggling to try to remain in the play-in. You're at Chicago April 4th. You get the Wiz, and then you finish up with the Sixers and those Celtics on April 9th. That's it. That's the regular season.
And it is interesting if you want to draw some correlation between the Mavericks and the Hawks, both stars taking 3 and 5. One guy, let's see, one coach, another guy gets another coach. One guy gets a GM, another guy gets a GM fired. Both guys get, not so much Trey, but they called out by Jason Kidd that Luka's got to make better decisions and grow up. Both these guys are not performing, even though the stats, again, this goes back to, if you're strictly looking for stats, they're fine. If you're looking for more than that, you're not getting it. And both teams are floundering.